Hi, AT from CNC at Home. I want to take some time to talk about Mike Rowe Works Foundation. If you don't know who Mike Rowe is by name, you might recognize a show he hosted called Dirty Jobs. If that isn't enough, maybe a few pictures will help jog your memory. If you don't know who Mike is, that's okay. I want to take some time to talk about his Works Foundation. You can find out more about Mike Rowe Works Foundation on their website, mikeroweworks.org. I want to read the opening from their About page where they state the problem. America has become slowly but undeniably disconnected from the most fundamental elements of civilization: food, energy, education, and the very nature of work itself. Over the last 30 years, America has convinced itself that the best path for the most people is an expensive 4-year degree. Pop culture has glorified the corner office while unintentionally belittling the job that helped build the corner office. As a result, our society has devalued any other path to success and happiness. Community colleges, trade schools, and apprenticeship programs are labeled as alternative. Millions of well-intended parents and guidance counselors see apprenticeships and on-the-job training opportunities as vocational consolation prizes, best suited for those not cut out for the brass ring, a 4-year degree. The push for higher education has coincided with the removal of vocational arts from high schools nationwide, and the effects of this 1-2 punch have laid the foundations for a widening skills gap and massive student loan debt. So what's the problem? The problem is that we have educated our population out of jobs while creating a nationwide worker shortage, also known as the skills gap, and at the same time created $1.5 trillion in student loan debt. Industrial arts, home economics, and the like have been removed from our school system. The focus has been STEM, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Yes, these are important things, but they aren't for everyone. There is a large portion of our population who are problem solvers, visual thinkers, hands-on kinds of people. These are the people who turn ideas into reality. These are the people who have been left behind. Now we have a huge skills gap. For the past 30 years, we have pushed students away from important jobs such as plumbing, carpentry, mechanics, journeyman, welding, construction, manufacturing, and more. As our workforce ages and retires, we have few qualified people to replace them in these important jobs. We are already 30 years behind the ball on this, and there is no quick and easy fix. There is record unemployment while there are millions of skilled jobs unfilled. The rate of unemployment among college graduates is at an all-time high. We have only scratched the surface about this problem. Mike Rowe is trying to do something about it. He is trying to reverse decades of blue-collar job bashing. He is trying to change the perception of the trades back into what it was and what it should be. Plumbers are cool. Electricians are cool. Running CNC machines is very cool. You know how I like CNC machines. Since the mid-70s, there's been a push to get a 4-year degree and to shy away from the trades. Mike brings up the whole work smart, not hard phrase that came out of that era and is still pushed today. Here's a poster he created that changes that. It only needed a one-word change: work smart and hard. I am fortunate to know several people who were smart enough to know they wanted to go into the skilled trades. I am even related to some of them. I have 2 nephews who went into the trades. Christopher, who went to community college for carpentry. He works in construction and has no school debt. Benjamin went to community college for auto and diesel mechanics. He is working in a foundry at a local granite company, does CAD and 3D printing for fun, and has no school debt. My friend's son, Brian, has a plumbing apprenticeship and is going to school. Because of the apprenticeship, when he graduates, he will have no school debt. Another friend's son, John, is going to school to be a welder. He will likely have little to no school debt when he graduates. Best of all, my son knew what he wanted to do, and while in high school, he used the PSEO, the Post-Secondary Enrollment Options program, to earn an AAS, that's an Associate of Applied Science degree, in medium heavy truck technician, and has no school debt. He has a full-time job that pays well and has benefits. He has no school debt. Best of all, for the most part, he enjoys his job. If he outgrows this career, he can always become a rocket scientist or a biomedical engineer. He's smart enough and would do well at either, if that's what he wanted to do. We need more people to train up in the trades. There are many cool jobs out there for people with the right skills. The Mike Rowe Works Foundation has a scholarship program. They're looking for men and women to keep the lights on, water running, and air flowing. People who will show up early, stay late, and bust their asses to get the job done. One of the requirements for applying for this scholarship program is to sign the SWEET Pledge. That stands for Skill and Work Ethic Aren't Taboo. What is the SWEET Pledge? Let me read it to you. I believe that I have won the greatest lottery of all time. I am alive. I walk the earth. I live in America. Above all things, I am grateful. I believe that I am entitled to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Nothing more. I also understand that happiness and the pursuit of happiness are not the same thing. I believe there is no such thing as a bad job. I believe that all jobs are opportunities, and it's up to me to make the best of them. I do not follow my passion. I bring it with me. I believe that any job can be done with passion and enthusiasm. I deplore debt and do all I can to avoid it. I would rather live in a tent and eat beans than borrow money to pay for a lifestyle I can't afford. I believe that my safety is my responsibility. I understand that being in compliance does not necessarily mean I am out of danger. I believe the best way to distinguish myself at work is to show up early, stay late, and cheerfully volunteer for every crappy task there is. I believe the most annoying sound in the world are whining and complaining. I will never make them. If I am unhappy at my work, I will either find a new job or find a way to be happy. I believe that my education is my responsibility and absolutely critical to my success. I am resolved to learn as much as I can from whatever source is available to me. I will never stop learning and understand that library cards are free. I believe that I am a product of my choices, not my circumstances. I will never blame anyone for my shortcomings or the challenges I face. And I will never accept the credit for something I did not do. I understand the world is not fair, and I'm okay with that. I do not resent the success of others. I believe that all people are created equal. I also believe that all people make choices. Some choose to be lazy. Some choose to sleep in. I choose to work my butt off. There's a lot of truth in this pledge. Every line brings to mind events of my life where I have chosen to make something good out of what I have. In the background, you have seen a coaster of Mike Rowe Works logo being made. I made 2 of these, and I'm going to give them to John and his friend Eric, who are just out of high school and going to school for a skilled trade. I want to encourage them, as I have for others, that this is a smart path to take, and they will have many job opportunities and be ahead of so many others of their generation. I hope you've enjoyed this video and have learned something about where we are and where we need to go. If you're interested at all in the Mike Rowe Works project or Mike Rowe himself, I will put links down in the description to both of those websites. What does this have to do with CNC at home? What I'm trying to do is get people excited about doing CNC stuff. And an easy way to get into that are with these little CNC machines, the CNC lasers that I mainly do, also the CNC router that I have some videos on as well. The skills that can be learned with these at-home machines are transferable into real industry. The stuff that you learn on the little CNC router is stuff that you can use on a bigger router. The same with the laser. It's all information, it's understanding how that whole process works. Those become skills that are needed. If it's something that you're not going to be going into, maybe you're of an age like me where I'm winding down a career versus trying to ramp up a new one, impart that excitement and enthusiasm to the next generation. Find some young kids who really don't know what they want to do. Show them that making stuff is a cool thing and you can get a good living doing that. That's where CNC at home comes in. I want to encourage people just to experiment with these machines, do stuff, have fun doing it. And the side benefit is, hey, you can make some money doing this too, if you wanted to. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this video. Give it a thumbs up if you think about it. And as always, subscribe. It really helps the channel out. Enjoy doing your CNC at home projects.